So the question was posed about uniqueness and genetic realities and the combinations of our genes and who we are, both as children of God and biologically as these beings that come together. And one of the most fascinating things is as you study the inheritance, the traits of life, you realize that there are trillions, probably trillions upon trillions of combinations that can result in any one person. And while every single human is different in terms of the genetics they have and the blood type they may inhabit and all the things that they offer, they're all the same in kind. There is a scientific law of biogenesis that says that that organisms of one kind beget and produce organisms of the same kind. Two whales do not beget an elephant. Two elephants do not beget a dog. And two humans do not beget a frog. Humans beget humans, dogs beget dogs, and frogs beget frogs. Now, we may have a very large frog or an oddly colored frog, but it's still a frog. We may have people of extreme IQ and people of modest IQ, but they both have an IQ. And they're both functioning entities that God has created. And one of the things that we see in our world is this constant pressure or provocation to divide one another, to separate one another, to categorize one another, to elevate some and diminish others, to compare and contrast. And yet God's heart is that we would see ourselves as we truly are, made in his image, fashioned by his hand, and wanted and purposed by him. There is no such thing as unequal humans from God's point of view. There is such a thing as unequal abilities, gifts, or opportunities, but not their standing before God. This to me is the beautiful thing about the Declaration of Independence. They said, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. And I think what they really meant there was equal in their standing before God and equal in their creation from God. But they didn't mean that we were all equal in height or color or athleticism or intellect or function. But those things are not as important as who we are. This is one of the critical things in life. The other side wants to diminish someone based on where they are or how developed they are or what they possess or what they've yet acquired or what they could do independent from another. But God wants us to know that he wants us to be dependent upon one another and that he's given us everything we need. And all he asks us is to love each other. And so hopefully we will work toward that rather than constantly poking and prodding and looking under everything to find where we're different. Let's actually embrace where we're similar and begin to love one another because we are one another. Let's love one another as we have been loved. As God said, let's love our neighbor as ourselves.